now I'm going to be very honest with all of you, or the few of you that are watching my video. Thank you for watching. That's reviewing this all-new 2021 Volvo XC40 Recharge. Yes, the fully electric version may be the easiest review that I will do in 2021. Now, the two reasons for that. First, well, the Volvo XC40 happens to be my favorite Volvo SUV, and by quite a big margin, in fact. And two, well, so far in the last 3.5, 4 years or so that I've driven electric vehicles, actually some going back further than that, I've not met one or reviewed or driven one that I absolutely disliked. So you can imagine that when you combine those two elements together, well, you have what I think might be one of the most compelling, appealing, interesting, and worthwhile electric vehicles your money can buy. At under $65,000 in Canada, just over $53,000 in the US, this vehicle has essentially everything going for it. So we're going to do the usual walk around. I'll show you a few things why I really like, or a few reasons why I really like the Volvo XC40, because essentially, visually, on the inside and the out, it's almost completely unchanged, which is 2 thumbs up, absolutely. And then we'll go for a wonderful little drive, and I think by the end of this video, you'll understand and appreciate why I think this is the EV to buy in that price range. Now visually, the only way you'll know that this is in fact a fully electric Volvo XC40 Recharge, well, is if you notice the front end. Obviously the absence of a grille, or the different grille I should say, is the most important cue that you're looking at the electric version. There are other, well, little hints, if you will, if you can actually see that. The same thing goes for this badge back here, but otherwise everything else about the XC40 Recharge is 100% Volvo XC40, which means that it is impossibly attractive, beautifully proportioned, uniquely Scandinavian, and absolutely fantastic. I told you I like this vehicle, so you're gonna have to get used to it. My tester actually has all the options except one. It might actually be easier if I just tell you which ones it doesn't have. My tester with the Michelin Alpine winter tires has the 19-inch wheels. There are 20-inch wheels available as an option, but my vehicle here has the climate package with the rear-heated seats, the steering wheel, advanced package, which includes the wireless charger, headlight washers, and adaptive cruise control, and a bunch of other features, for a grand total of about $70,000. Even so, still very much worth the asking price. Now we can do a quick tour. I mean, standard with the vehicle, you do get a 12.3-inch instrument panel, digital I should say, 9-inch display, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and the Google system. Yeah, I'll show that to you in a few moments. Very quick power hatch, good sized trunk, nothing new here. It's all beautifully thought out. Speaking of beautifully thought out, now the opening is so much bigger than what you think it looks like. It's kind of strange to say, but ingress and egress is actually really easy, and there is loads of room. Now, like other EVs, you can't actually turn on this car unless you're sitting in the driver's seat, so that's why everything was off back there. So let's just slide in. Actually, before we slide in, this is one of the things that I love about this vehicle. The fit, the finish, the details, the different unique Volvo touches, also part of my optioned out model. Everything is beautifully put together. The seats are absolutely maybe even more fantastic than they look. So comfortable. Now let's slide in and have the XC40 greet us. And see it now, it's actually just ready to go. I didn't even have to do anything. Your typical Volvo shifter, drive, reverse, park, very simple. There's the 9-inch display, which also includes, if it'll agree, yes, Google Assistant. So you can go, hey Google, Okay, I didn't say it loud enough. I don't want to say it too loud just in case something comes up. But there you have it. These menus are very, very intuitive, very quick to access. I don't know. This is such a great system. Once again, like in the Polestar 2, which I didn't want to bring up, I wish I had more time to actually deep dive into this or dive deep. But this is only a very, very short few hour loan, and I want to get more drive time. There's your 12.3-inch display. It actually can be configured differently to show various settings. Again, fit, finish, the details, the uniqueness. I mean, the huge door bins, fantastic visibility. You're sitting way up high in this vehicle, and you get down here, and I mean, look, the Swedes, they just have it all figured out. Steering wheel is beautiful, fantastic grip, decent storage, excellent storage. It's just all here. There's the wireless charger down there. It is fantastic. It is clean. It is easily accessible. It does take a few minutes to get used to, you know, getting to your menus and having all kinds of stuff show up, right? But once you figured it out, like all other modern Volvos, it's like a tablet. Enough chit chat. Let's go for a drive. Before I go on about driving the XC40 Recharge, I just want to mention one of the reasons why I love driving the XC40, the regular petrol-powered version, so much. And that's the combination of its fantastic platform and its superbly tuned chassis. The way Volvo engineers have put it together, have made it perform and handle, makes it's in fact, it's more refined, more comfortable, more cosseting than even the larger XC60 and XC90. And I'm not kidding. For real. Absolutely for real. And I'm glad to report that this vehicle, fully electric version of the XC40, is identical to that. So that means that it's smooth in here. It is truly comfortable and enjoyable to drive. And I was on some rougher surfaces, and I think I will end up on some very, very shortly. And you will hopefully notice that the phone isn't shaking anywhere near as much as it might in a number of other vehicles I've reviewed in the recent past. In fact, it might be the smoothest and nicest comfortable driving EV, or the second most comfortable. I think only the Audi e-tron Sportback I drove late last year might be smoother with it because of its air suspension, which obviously this does not have. That is serious praise indeed, in my opinion. It also happens to be nicer. I thought I was gonna completely avoid bringing it up, but clearly that's just not possible. It's nicer to drive than the Polestar 2. Obviously, the one I drove had the all-in suspension, so there's a difference there, but they share a lot. Oh, and heck, they share a crap load of stuff. Dual electric motor setup, total system output 402 horsepower, maximum peak super torque of 486 pounds, 78 kilowatt hour battery, which will deliver up to 335 kilometers. Now, as I mentioned, this is a very, very brief test, so I'm not going to get anywhere near that maximum range. But about the torque and the power, it's frighteningly responsive. And look, this thing will do 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.9 seconds. But contrary to another EV or so, it feels so much faster than that. 4.9 seconds, 0 to 100, 0 to 60, 4.7 seconds. It's just, it's absolutely fantastic. This is meant as, you know, that urban, well-to-do person's vehicle. So in the city, this thing is a rocket, absolute rocket. There are no drive modes per se, although certain things can be adjusted individually, including the steering, which in its normal state is just absolutely fine. You feel nothing, but it does what it's supposed to do. the major adjustment that can be brought to the drive in this vehicle is regenerative engine braking. I'll get it, I promise. There are two modes to it, and I am currently in one pedal drive, meaning that it is in maximum regen braking. So off the brake pedal and the vehicle comes quickly to a full stop. So if you're not careful and there's traffic around you, never completely lift. Anyways, you can modulate it and adjust it. It's actually very intuitive. I did discover one thing though, that on slippery ice and snow covered surfaces, it's so aggressive that the front wheels locked up. And I'm not sure if it's the ABS braking or what else is going on, but it'll lock and immediately unlock it. It's kind of funny. I guess it's something else you can get adjusted to if you ever purchase it and drive it. To get out of the one pedal driving mode, you have to, and this is the sole real issue with the configurableness of the drive, which is, like I said, limited. Well, you gotta get out of your whatever menu you're in, select full menu, go into settings, and then to the drive, and then select it to turn it on and off. So if you're driving in city, the one pedal drive, once you get in onto, say, a country road where the speed limits are higher, or you're about to merge on the highway, you'll want to mess around with the buttons to get out of the one pedal drive mode. And when you do, you'll discover that this thing can coast for kilometers at a time. It's quite impressive. Look, I mean, I think I've said almost forgot. 335 kilometer range, 78 kilowatt hour battery. On a DC fast charger at 170 kilowatts, you will go from 0 to 80% of charge in about 40 minutes, which puts it right around the average, which means that you'll never hit 0. So in a half hour's time, you'll be on your way in most circumstances. Now I think I've touched on everything. I absolutely love this. I reiterate what I said at the beginning. This is very likely my favorite. It is, in fact, my favorite EV. It's nowhere near the priciest that I've driven. It's not the cheapest, but it's not that far off. And as time goes, Volvo says that other trims, or lesser trims, if you will, in other words, more affordable versions of the XC40 Recharge can be expected. Those will likely be very interested as I struggle to bring more details to light. All-wheel drive, obviously, when you're doing light load driving as I am right now, the rear motor picks up and does most of the propulsing. That's it, I'm done. I absolutely love this thing. You have to check it out if you're in the market for a small EV. Done.